Hey everybody, today we're diving into a new project. I'm starting my first micro crawler build. It's going to be a little bit of a comp style build to match my truck that I run right now. That is my 10 scale truck. I'm super excited about this. I want to bring you guys along with me while I build it all up. It's going to be a multi-part series where I just kind of take you along as I get parts in and start putting everything together and figuring this whole thing out. So over the last few years, I've seen these trucks get more and more advanced, and I've just been more and more interested in getting into them. I've had a couple SCX24s that I've always just left stock, so for the first time I'm deciding that I'm building one from the ground up, 24 scale micro crawler. It's going to be a fun little project. I've done a bunch of research, I've got a bunch of tips from some friends, and I want to just dive into it and start messing with this thing. I got a few parts in today, and I got more coming, so we're just going to have some fun and get on into this. I'm hoping to get some help from you guys too. I don't know what I'm gonna do for a body yet, and I'm still thinking about electronics. So if you have any ideas, I'd love to get some tips down in the comments. My goal is to get this thing all set up, dialed in, get everything working properly, and then I'm gonna take it out to some rocks in my local area. I wanna show you guys some cool spots. Hopefully we can get it to some competitions if I can find some that I'm able to make that are local. I know it keeps getting more popular, so that'd be really fun in the future. So we're gonna hop into talking about everything I got though. I've done a bunch of research and got a bunch of help, so I think we do that next. We dive into everything I'm working with here. The first thing I did when I decided to build this project was start researching chassis. I got some help from a friend who gave me this suggestion, and then I started watching some videos on YouTube about it, and then I really got interested in it. So this right here is from Coop Rc. I'll leave his Etsy store in the description. This is the Eel V2. This is a rail style chassis, but very high clearance. It's gonna be a really fun build. There's a few videos on YouTube from Yep24 and Money Pit RC, so you may have seen one of these chassis already in action, but I decided I want to build one. I think it's gonna be a really fun project, and yeah, it's gonna be really cool. So we're gonna build that today on this video. Here's all the goodies. Here's the extra stuff I have with it too that I kind of got in time just recently. So I got links for it because I need the links to actually set this chassis up, because you need the links inside or you can't get the whole thing put together. So I need to put those on first before I even, like, while I'm putting this chassis together. And then I got a front axle, a rear axle, and a riser for the rear links. So we got a few things to play with today. This is the start of our little micro crawler build. I don't know if you can call it a comp build. It's kind of going to match my comp rig, so I think it'll be fun. But we got one of these nice Meus Iso Kinetic axles. These were highly recommended, obviously, as well. I'm sure if you know anything about the micro crawler stuff, you've probably heard about these. If you don't, these are some good stuff. So these are fun. I'm excited to get all this started, piecing it all together. I still need to figure out a body and electronics. So if you have suggestions, definitely leave them in the comments, because I am open to that. I do not have a 3D printer. I have not leveled up that high yet on the ranks to own one of those and be proficient with it. So for now, I'll probably be either looking Lexan or something else that's pre-made. I don't know. If you guys know of anything cool or anybody making cool bodies out there, let me know. It'll be fun to get one thrown together on this chassis. So the next step, I think we're gonna start building this chassis. We're gonna start throwing the links onto the skid plate in here. If you can see this chassis, this skid plate's actually got a super crazy angle on it, so should have some really good clearance. It's gonna be fun. Definitely go check out Coop Rc. Like I said, his website will be in the description, so go check that out. See if he's got any of these left. Go take a look at it, but look at how many options you got for mounting positions. This is gonna be a cool chassis. It comes highly recommended, so I'm excited. Plus, he gave us a dinosaur with it. How cool is that? So I got this chassis all laid out in the order that it kind of goes together. Here's your center skid, your two sliders. Here's your front battery mount. That'll be your rear battery mount. Also, those are supports. And then here's a little tray for electronics that fits in here too. So we're gonna start putting this together. I got my links right here. I already put the ends on them all. As you can tell, they don't come with those on, so I did that off camera, but that's all ready to go. So I'm gonna start attaching the lower links here, and we're gonna get to building this thing. So I was just testing some of this hardware, and it all works with a 1.3. Right there, 1.3 millimeter hex. So if you need to get one of them, I'll link this down below just in case. See, so I'm gonna start putting these lower links on real quick, and I will catch back up with you in a second. I need to throw a couple of these into the links so that we can make them work. So I'm just setting some of these balls into these slots here. Just a small set of pliers to do it. Try not to shoot them across the room. Snap them in, you're good to go. Okay, so these are all in the lower links. Now on this bottom skid, it's actually a pass through on this front side. So you're passing through here and you're attaching on the inside of this piece right here. The nice thing is the set of Injora links came with some extra stuff, but it also came with longer screws on all of these. So I can just use these that came in this little kit to replace and get them for these bigger actual ball ends that you have to pass through on here. So we're gonna get these started finally. You gotta float this over on this edge, push through here, get it threaded, and then start screwing in. I'm just getting this last link tightened up in here. Going pretty smooth actually, it's pretty cool. I really enjoy how modern everything's got. It all kind of matches the full-size 10 scale stuff now. So here we go, here's the bottom skid. This is now ready to start attaching to the rails. Be going up here like so. Getting that all set up. So let me get my screws for this and then I'll get back with you. Got this all figured out. We're gonna be taking the 2 holes on the rail and lining them with those 2 holes on the skid right there and attaching this and getting it all put together. Got the first half installed. We're gonna flip it over and hit the other side. Now this stuff is very small because it is 1/24 scale, as you could imagine. I'm a adult man and these are not made for hands this large. But luckily, as the stuff's gotten better over the years, everything's gotten made, tools have gotten better, everything's gotten a little bit stronger. So this stuff has gotten easier, which is really cool. This chassis is going to be fun too because it really is just like a 10 scale chassis. So many options, so much stuff you could do to it. You just got to figure out how to make it all fit. As you can see, this is the start of our chassis. Now down the road, as we're testing and tuning during this little series, we might start playing with some extra bends, some different stuff going on in the rear. So we're gonna just play with it, try to transfer over what we can, hang out with friends, get ideas and tips from them, and just have a good time with this. All right, let's get some more of those pieces on here. Next, we're gonna start attaching pieces to it. Here's a back tray for it. This fits in here like so, kind of aims forward and shoots forward towards the actual cab of the car. And we're gonna get that all set right now with some screws. And we'll start putting the other pieces in the front and the rear. This guy is all attached here. If you want to check out the screw placement on that and all that so far. Start attaching a few more pieces. Now I got the rear body mount and chassis support in, like so. And obviously a lot of the stuff, if you need to move around, you're able to do that because you have so many options. I'm gonna get that front post in now with 2 body mounts and a little cross member support. This one's kind of cool, it kind of rides over. You can see the cut on those, or the actual print on those. All of the chassis pieces are 3D printed, I believe. Okay, I've got all that stuff on for now. Now let's throw these sliders on. The sliders are pretty cool. They're actually like a boat slider, which is nice. Grab this here. You can see how this kind of covers over everything and gives it a nice big surface to slide on over rocks and whatnot. So this thing's pretty sweet. I'm gonna get these on. You just thread them on from the back side and those are good to go. Not bad, not bad at all. That's pretty sweet. Just gotta get this other one on and then we're hopping on the axles next. All right, I got that front Meus axle all pulled out and I started attaching it to this chassis. As you can see, it just simply attaches right in there for the lower links. And I got these front links put onto it. This was fairly straightforward. You use a little double ball on this end. There's a single ball on this end. There's a servo plate. And that's all kind of just set for now, just so I don't lose the parts. But this is kind of how this axle goes together. On this chassis, it's starting to look really good. Now I want to pull out this rear axle that I got. Just a plastic rear axle. I went with plastic because I couldn't find the Meus one in stock, and the combo with the front and back on this one was like 3 or 4 weeks out. So I was like, man, I don't really want to wait that long. Here's a little link riser that goes on this rear axle. This will help this thing get all set up. Now there's some other parts coming, so this will be the last things we're installing today. We'll just have the back, both axles front and back on here, and we have some other stuff coming in the mail today, which is nice. We got drive shafts, a transmission, and shocks coming either today and tomorrow, I believe. So in the next video you'll see we'll be putting those on, and we'll probably start talking about electronics then too. So make sure you throw any suggestions you have down below. I'm gonna pull this rear axle out and start getting it all set up. So here's the axle itself. Get this thing all ripped open here. Good thing I got my little knife next to me. So yeah, plastic is typically, I don't know, plastic's really good for sliding over rocks. So we're gonna go with the hopes that this plastic rear axle is gonna work good for us. Now I do need to get some wheel extenders, some hub extenders on the outside just to match that Mia's front axle, because that's a +5 and this is just a stock 0. So I'll need to get some extenders that'll come off, but I've already checked those out. They're not too expensive, and we'll be working that way in sometime soon before we get the wheels all set up and properly done. So now this is just a rear link riser. It's just going to sit over here, and it's going to give you a ton of options to actually mount your upper rear links too. So we're going to get that all set up too, and dive on into this thing. Yeah, this project's starting to come along, starting to figure it all out. Like I said, transmission, drive shafts are coming in the next few days, and shocks, which will give us that whole slider I was talking about, where we're able to just kind of have a little unit that we can keep adding parts to. So that comes off the top. This one's gonna go right in here and replace it, as you can see, like so. And it's just gonna give us a lot more room for doing different mounting. Okay, now that this is all put on, we can start getting this set up onto here. It's almost the same with the front. These lowers are gonna go into lowers, and then we'll be able to add and install our uppers once we start figuring out our distance and lengths to put those on. So it's gonna be real simple to start installing, so I'll catch up with you in a second. While I'm working on this, I decided I'm gonna start putting the lower or the upper links on as well. Now those are gonna mount right behind the boat slider in this pocket right here, for at least when we're talking about the rear side. Right where that mounts for the boat slider in here, was we're actually gonna be using that to attach the upper link on this. Things starting to look really, really good. Just piecing away on this chassis. Got the rear links in, upper, lower. I'll have to work on these angles obviously once I start getting my transmission installed with my drive lines. That way we can get everything dialed in there. But here's a good look at this chassis. Got that plastic rear axle. You have the Meus Iso Kinetic front axle up here. I need to get the lower links on this first, but I also need to figure out what servo, because I think those lower links mount at the back of this. And I'll be having to take that on and off a couple times just to get a servo set up. So I'm gonna leave this for now. We're gonna cut it here. I am going to wait for some more parts to come in, and then we're gonna get this thing even more finished up here in the next video. So make sure you guys like this video, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you're looking to get one of these chassis, I hope this helped you kind of figure out how it all goes together. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions or comments below. I would appreciate any support you guys give me. So thank you so much, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Have a great day.